So I'm a little bit late covering the Assassin's Creed Shadows Parkour article that dropped yesterday. But then I opened Twitter today and it turns out that the game has once again been delayed, this time until March 20th. Now listen, on the one hand I was really excited to play this game next month, but on the other hand I'm happy for them to take all the time they need to polish it and make it the best experience it can be. I think the gameplay that we've been seeing from all these articles recently looks much better than what was initially revealed. Every single time we see new gameplay now, it just looks better and better. The animation quality is fantastic, the shadows, the lighting, everything just looks really good. And you know, there's that old meme of a rushed game is forever bad, but a delayed game is eventually good, and I think that's true. So I don't necessarily consider the delay itself bad news. What I do consider to be bad news is that Ubisoft still don't really seem to be learning the right lessons from the situation they've got themselves in. It's all well and good taking the extra time to polish Shadows and make it the best experience it can be, but as a company, there doesn't seem to be any change in their overall philosophy, and that comes from Yves Guillemot, the CEO. You know, in one of the recent calls, he basically said that they're focusing on how to extract the most value for their stakeholders and shareholders. And it's just like, read the room. You should be focusing on the player experience and giving the most value to players, not trying to make the most money for your shareholders in a time like this. You know, the company's at risk of being bought out and it's just shareholders and money. And yeah, money is obviously important. A company needs money to survive. But the way you generate that money these days is by having a strong, dedicated player base, by having trust in your brand, and that is something that Ubisoft is just sorely lacking at the moment. Like, a lot of the comments I see on videos I make about Assassin's Creed these days are people just preying on its downfall, and that's a shame because the game itself looks phenomenal. But games are expensive these days, and you know, if you've put out a streak of games like Outlaws, Avatar, Skull and Bones that are just not living up to standard, then you know, it's understandable that people are going to have reservations. So yeah, that's kind of the rant over for the delay and for the direction that Ubisoft still seems to be hell-bent on heading in. But let's get on to the good news. I'm really happy to report that the parkour looks insane in this game. It really seems like they've gone in on adding more mechanical depth this time around, which is something that's been sorely lacking in the RPG games. Now, credit where it's due, Mirage did do a great job with level design and adding things like the powerful back eject, but this time around there's a whole list of new features. The dodge, crouch and prone mechanics have been incorporated directly into parkour. So for example, you can dodge off a ledge to perform a manual flip and land quietly. You can dive straight into a prone position. You can dive roll over obstacles. And like the older games, not every surface can be climbed, so you have to look for specific handholds. Now obviously your grappling hook comes into play here as well. You can use it on any flat surface like a rooftop, but also you can use it to scale those gaps where there's no handholds. And you can even do things like running partway up a wall and then jump and throw your grappling hook to gain extra height. So I really like the fact that the grappling hook is incorporated seamlessly into parkour, rather than being like Syndicate where the grappling hook just completely overtook movement altogether. A lot of these mechanics that you're seeing now, like this dodge off the rooftop, is actually manual. So you're going to have a lot more control and expression in how you move around. The control scheme has also changed as well, and they're bringing back low profile and high profile movement, so you have to be careful about how much attention you attract based on what type of parkour moves you're performing. I was completely sold on the stealth and the combat in the previous two articles, but I said to myself that the one thing they really need to nail is parkour because it's been neglected for so long now, and I am happy to say that I'm not disappointed. It looks really good. I know that there's Unity purists out there who are not going to be satisfied until we get that specific parkour system back, but as I've mentioned many times now, as a fan of Tenchu, I'm personally satisfied with how this looks. I really like the implementation of the grappling hook. I love how you can do manual flips and manual jumps. I like that there's a stealth element to parkour and you have to choose between high and low profile. And I love how the dodge and dive mechanics are seamlessly integrated into parkour as well. So yeah, it's kind of bittersweet. I'm still just really disappointed with Ubisoft because on the one hand, they're clearly proven that they have what it takes. They have the manpower, they have the talent, They have the money to make games that look this good, but they just seem to be so intent on taking the company in a direction that is, I hate to say it, but it seems destined to fail in the long run. The only way I can see them turning the ship around is truly focusing on engaging player experiences, on player feedback, on friendly consumer practices, and putting their players at the very, very forefront of everything they do. Not shareholders, not executives that want to chase trends. They have a lot of solid IPs and they need to focus on what they're good at. Make high quality Assassin's Creed games, bring back Splinter Cell in all its glory, make Ghost Recon a true tactical shooter again, keep supporting For Honor, which is one of their most unique games. They absolutely can do it, they just need better leadership and direction. Anyway, that's it from me. Hope you're having a great day wherever you are, and I'll see you in the next video.